Hi, and welcome back to the channel. If you saw last video, you'll know where we got to and that we still had issues after putting in the new idler wheel. Not a new idler wheel, the old idler wheel, an original, and that we needed a belt. And look what I found on the internet. A belt. It's great. I have, to be honest, I have tried fitting it on the platter and it does fit. But another thing that I found was, you'll be able to see this when I put it in, but it's a small piece of cork that goes into the idler lift arm, so that the contact area with the idler wheel is not metal to metal, so it's cork to metal. So that should make it float better. Yes. Another thing which I'm really excited about that I found. I was mentioning that. Yeah, if you saw the last video, you'll remember the awful sound that the idler wheel made. And that sound we should be able to remove that today. And if you remember, I talked about the cleaning products that could be used to fix the old rubber. And I looked more into that, and people said, oh, it's a lost cause. You might as well just give up. So I did. But then I found this. There's somebody who makes idler wheels for these. And actually all the parts I purchased, the belt, and I actually purchased a couple of these because they were so cheap. I don't want to do an ad read or anything like that, but Danish Sound Parts, they had all of it. So yeah, we ordered those, and they came. So I'll make a time lapse of me putting this in. I already showed you how to put it in with the old one that's still in the machine. But I'll stop when I attempt to put this cork piece in, and when I try to put on the belt. Another thing, when last time when I put on the top mounting bracket, there was the bracket, and then there was a washer, and then there's the screw. And I had seen pictures where the mounted bracket was put in between the screw and the washer, so that on the one side of the mounting bracket there was a screw, and on the other side there was a washer. But apparently it's supposed to be screw, washer, mounting bracket. So that I'll correct that today. I actually already have, because when I found out, I didn't want to have it resting wrong, so I have fixed that already. But just for your information, yes. So let's get to putting in new parts. So yeah, as I mentioned, I have purchased this. Oh, I just dropped it on the floor. It's very hard to spot, but it is this small piece of cork. And down here on the idler lift arm, you will see that there is a small hole that has essentially the same dimensions. I'll just bring in some light and show you where that is. You see this here hole? Yeah, this piece of cork is supposed to go in there. And I don't have a clue on how it's supposed to go in, but I know that it's supposed to go in. So I'll just try fiddling around with it a bit until I'm happy with the seating. Okay, welcome back. As I've said many times while trying to work on this, that was uh, very much not funny. Um, so I just had to cut it because I could see that what I was trying to do didn't work. So I purchased 3 of these things, and I've lost 2 of them into the machine. They're in the bottom. I just didn't want to. I don't know how to turn it over yet without damaging anything. So what I've done is, you see it down there actually, the little beige thing that you see down on the arm is the cork part, and I think it's sitting alright. So what did I do? Well, what I did was I took this tweezer and I purchased 3 and I've lost 2 of them. Otherwise, I would show you what I did. So I took this tweezer and I really on the outside. I could show you with this. With the tweezer, what I tried to do was I really squashed in from the sides, so it became more of an oval shape, which meant that it had 2 pointy sides and 2 flat sides. So I put that down because then I only had to work with the 2 pointy sides because they were bigger than the diameter, but the small sides were smaller than the diameter, so they slipped in pretty nicely. But the pointy sides I could just work with. I have the small screwdriver and I could just sort of press them in. So I'm hoping that's okay. Next, I put a small coin underneath so that I could rest the arm on something, so I wasn't just forcing down on it. And then I put some aluminum foil as to try and catch the cork. That didn't work. So let's just remove the coin here. An easier way to do it would be to remove the mechanism, but I was unsure of how to do that. But now, well, you've seen me do it before. In goes the idler wheel. Yeah, let's just let the time lapse start again. So that's the new idler wheel in. I did that much faster than last time. I'm just going down to check if, I think the cork is still in. I can feel a bit more resistance, which makes sense. Eventually that should get some lithium grease down in the slot where the cork meets the metal, but I'm not worried about that today. So now we'll try to put on the belt. So yeah, I'll need to put on the sub platter, which is quite easily done. Okay, yeah, so now I'll try to put on the belt. As I told you, I have already attempted putting on the belt. Last time it was all those rubber bands, and earlier today when I got the parts home, I'd also tried mounting the new belt just to see if it was the right size, and it turned out to be, so this wasn't actually all that bad if I'm able to do it. like I did earlier. Okay, and then let's just let it roll on down into the right slot. Yeah, there it goes. Well, I don't know if you're as excited as I am, but let's turn on the motor. Nice. Yeah. Nice grip. Doesn't just stop. Let's put it into... no, let's wait with that. It definitely spins, which is very nice. So next I'll just quickly assemble the rest of it, and we'll see if the arm mechanism works the way it's supposed to. So yeah. Okay. So everything is assembled. So now I'll do something that I've been waiting a while to see. 1 second. I'd like to see it spin a record. So let's see. Nice. Really nice. Okay. So what I'll do now is this is just the manual way of doing it. So what I'll do now is I'll put it into automatic, and let's see if it starts doing what it's supposed to. I'll push the lift button. Just quickly take this off. Let's see. Let's try around there. Ooh. Okay. Definitely needs more force. Ooh. Okay. It's in a groove. Let's see if it continues playing. Yeah. It's a status quo record I have on right now. So, yeah, that seems to work. Now we'll see if the auto stop mechanism is active. Let's put it down here. And I think perhaps just give it its head more on here. Yeah, so I will be needing one of those. I can hear it. I don't know if you can. I'll try putting the microphone down lower at some point, but I'm just checking to see whether I think it has automatic return. So I'll just cut you out, and you'll see when we get there. So as you just saw in that time lapse, it would go out and down on the record, and we let it play, and I stopped. I don't know if you saw sometimes, but to increase the weight, the preload out here, because it was skipping. Right now it's actually set at maximum load. When it came into around here, instead of lifting and going in, it just dragged the arm out. So what I would like to see, now that I've increased, maybe it just didn't know where it was, I'll let it try once more, and we'll see whether it lifts up or what happens. I'll just put it down here. Goes in there. No. Yeah. Okay. So we won't let it play anymore. We saw some really good things. It went up and, automatically went to play. That's great. But of course it's not great that it scrapes when it goes from the platter. I could see that it started going and then lifted up. So perhaps the timing on the bottom just isn't quite correct. Because of course you would much rather have it lift first and then go out instead of what it just did. I don't know if I mentioned this. This is just some record. This is just something I had laying around. So it's not anything that I'm particularly sad about scratching. The needle, however, is not something I want to destroy. So it won't play anymore today. But we saw it move. And I could hear the music. I will just, I'm not too afraid of copyright. So when I've said goodbye, I'll just let you hear the record player down at the needle, just so you also get to hear it. But yeah, I won't let it play to the middle until I find out what the problem is. Okay, so we managed to do quite a lot of things today. This is definitely better than I would have expected. Now we can either, as I talked about, I will have to oil it at some point, where I'll have to probably pull out the motor, which I'm not very excited to do, because I've heard that you have to center it properly afterwards. So next time what we'll do is I will purchase an adapter, because for some reason Bang & Olufsen in the 70s chose to use a DIN plug, where most normal and rational people would have chosen to use the RCA plugs. I don't know if in the 70s, I don't think that this record player would have been able to communicate anything. So I don't know why they used a DIN connection. I guess it's so that all their hi-fi components would plug nicely into each other. But yeah, I'll have to purchase that. And I'll also have to look into how I get the arm to lift before it, pulls itself out. Yeah. So until next time, thank you all for watching. And as I promised, I'll put the mic down close next to the pickup so that you guys can hear the music as well. So yeah, thanks for watching.